There's a lot of things that can be viewed as funny if you have kind of a dark sense of humor. But when you're making jokes at the expense of these people, of these dead Gaza babies, there isn't humor to be found. There's something I've been thinking about a lot lately, and it surrounds the people we give our respect to, that we give our attention to. In an attention economy, you pay people by, you reward people with your attention, with your clicks, with your views, with your likes, with your comments, with your sharing of their content, with your general respect about what they believe. Van Jones is one of these characters. He gets paid to give his opinion, kind of like me, although I'm more reliant upon you. I don't have some giant corporation like CNN or HBO paying me for my opinions. And Van Jones the other day, first of all, Van Jones is a guy who's apparently very comfortable in all surrounds. This is a photo of him flanked by Brooke Rollins, who's now the Secretary of the Agriculture for Donald Trump, and of course, Ivanka and Jared Trump. Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner. He may as well be a Trump. And who are they laughing at right there? It is Van Jones busting a gut over something hilarious, apparently, that Donald Trump said. Van Jones was on with another vile, sinister influence in our culture, Bill Maher, who is a bigot, an anti-trans bigot, an anti-science maniac who railed against the COVID vaccines and hates vaccines and science in general and has antiquated caveman ideas about immunity. And he's a sower of discord and distrust in science and the efficacy of vaccines. And that's beside all the bigotry and the vile hatred. He's a POS, Bill Maher. He's a guy who's accepting invites to go to the White House now that Donald Trump's back in power, and then speaks glowingly about Donald Trump and how he's just a regular guy, just wants to normalize Donald Trump, carrying water for the agenda of a fascist. And Van Jones was on with Bill Maher, making his fucking jokes about dead Gaza babies. He since apologized on Twitter in an unbelievable, I mean, I don't mean, oh, that's unbelievable. I mean, it's a statement that is not to be believed, his apology. Oh, I'm so sorry if someone thought I was being flippant. And we'll let you be the judge when I play the clip. But before I do, I was going to show these later, but this is what's at stake here. The death toll in Gaza is like nearing 70,000 people. 20,000 plus are children. And I don't mean like war fighting age, not like that would matter. I mean children, babies. There's currently a famine that is being directed by the state of Israel to starve to death the youngest generation of Palestinians. Mothers are starving to death so desperately they're not able to breastfeed their babies. 20,000 plus have died. Who knows the innumerable amount, the number of children who will die or have lifelong complications from this period of their development where they were starving to death, some not eating but once a week. And Van Jones making his dead Gaza baby jokes. Watch this, and then we will read his apology or his statement and talk about the callousness of this moment.
But isn't part of that because we had to fold everything into critical race theory, and somehow the Middle East became part of,
I see it differently. And I love this conversation because I think people, those of us who went to college, give a lot more credit to college courses for how the world works than I do. This is not about critical race theory on college campuses. This is about Iran. Iran and Qatar have come up with a disinformation campaign that they are running through TikTok and Instagram that is massive. If you are a young person, you open up your phone and all you see is dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby,
right.
Diddy, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby. Like, that's basically your whole feed. So that's not DEI. That is a geopolitical adversary that is deliberately trying to divide the West against itself.
That view is not.
Seemed like he leaned in to the joke. He presented it as a joke. Dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby. Did he? A dead Gaza. He's doing the head movements and he's eliciting the reaction, the cacophonous laughter of the ghouls in the audience and the dipshit next to him and Bill Maher himself. It was by design. Being paid for that opinion. 20,000 plus dead babies. And he wants you to believe that the only reason you're concerned about 20,000 plus dead babies is because Iran is running a disinformation campaign. The only reason that you would possibly be concerned about a mountain of dead children is because of misinformation and disinformation online. He's not saying there's not really 20,000 dead babies. But he's certainly minimizing it, making a joke about it. This was his statement on Twitter. I made a comment on Real Time with Bill Maher about the war in Gaza that was insensitive and hurtful. I apologize. The suffering of the people of Gaza, especially the children, is not a punchline. I'm deeply sorry it came across that way. What's happening to children in Gaza is heartbreaking. As a father, I can't begin to imagine the pain their parents are enduring, unable to protect their kids from unimaginable harm. I'm praying, that'll help. I'm praying and working for an immediate end to this war. Are you working for it with your jokes, Van Jones? Is that moving the needle? Is that getting the job done, your jokes, Van Jones? And for peace and safety for every family caught in its path. I'm truly sorry for the pain my words cause to people who are already suffering more than anyone should. But it's this initial statement here. I'm deeply sorry it came across that way. That's creating distance between himself and the thing that he said. Given a little wiggle room that's not what he said, but if it came across that way, he's very sorry. How would anyone come away with any other directive than you thought it was a joke? You're deeply sorry it came across this way, Van Jones?
Dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby.
Right.
Diddy, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby.
Seems like you got the intended response, which was laughter from your hilarious joke about the 20,000 plus dead Gaza babies.
Dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby.
Right.
Diddy, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby.
In a few months, Van Jones, will you be back on with a new version, a punched up version of the joke? When it's not just 20,000 dead, but maybe 30,000 when the famine that is currently underway takes the lives of thousands or 10,000 more babies? Will you update the dead Gaza baby joke?
Dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby.
Right.
Diddy, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby.
Nobody should be turning to Van Jones for understanding about how maybe they should believe. No one should be turning to Bill Maher about how things should be viewed in American politics or world affairs for that matter. There's a lot of things that can be viewed as funny if you have kind of a dark sense of humor. But when you're making jokes at the expense of these people, of these dead Gaza babies, there isn't humor to be found. You're not making a meta statement or some broader point about the war. You're lying and saying the only reason people care about this is because Iran, which is coded the Muslims who hate the Jews, it's the only reason you care about the giant pile of bloody dead babies in Gaza is because of Qatar, Iran, some other scary Muslim nation. It's just gross. And to hear an audience filled with people laughing and cackling with delight is also very troubling. So keep it up, laughing your jokes. What you find funny that came out of the mouth of Donald Trump is akin to what you find funny when you talk about dead Gaza babies, Van Jones. You are disgusting, and you should not be being paid to give anybody your opinion about anything. Maybe not even how to write an apology, dipshit. Anyway, I welcome you to this conversation. I would appreciate your feedback. You can comment below the video wherever you're watching it. You can also call the voicemail line and leave me a brief voicemail, please, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I love and appreciate you very much. I know this is a sensitive topic. A lot of people have the wrong ideas about the genocide that is taking place in Gaza of the Palestinian people that is by design. It is an orchestrated event to eradicate. This is ethnic cleansing on the part of Israel. And a lot of people, they asked for it October 7th. Yeah, that was terrible. All the hostages should be released. They shouldn't have been taken in the first place. It was a terrorist attack. But you don't make that wrong right by killing 20,000 babies, non-combatants, children and women, elderly men and women. Anyway, it seems self-evident, but it's amazing we still have to talk about it. I will see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.